Hello there, this is Donnie, and we are going to talk about the introduction of what is the relationship between globalization and media. Understanding their relationship means understanding their definitions and how they influence each other. Cultural globalization and media. Defining globalization is not an easy thing to do. Scholars have been in an ongoing debate about it since then. Indeed, many people have trouble defining globalization. Globalization has been linked to a lot of concepts and phenomena in this world, like global economy, international trade, growing prosperity in China and India, international travel and communication, immigration, migration, more foreign films and foods, McDonald's in Paris, Starbucks in Africa, mosque in New York, and increase in global problems such as climate change and terrorism. And with the rise of several concepts linked to the latter, it has been made easy to grasp the definition of globalization in such areas like economics, politics, and culture. Although globalization commonly refers to economic and political convergence on a global scale in common language, it also has a critical cultural component in which the media plays the central role. Media. Lul, on his article Globalization and Media Creating the Global Village, defined the term for medium as a way of conveying something, such as a contact line, like globalization. Because the term was expected to speak about a new social topic, the word media came into common use. While the term is comparatively recent, from their first days on Earth, humans have used contact media, and we would argue such media have been important to globalization. It is important to understand that media has played a great part in the journey of globalization. Some scholar believes and argue that without the media it is impossible for globalization to thrive. It is believed that globalization and media are two inseparable concepts. Some scholars feel that globalization is a concept that is decidedly new, that started a few decades ago. They argue in the late 1900s, when the globe was genuinely globalized by developments in media and transport technologies. In the late 20th century, the cultural anthropologist Arjun Appadurai, cited in Lul's article on globalization in the media, thought that there was a split in social life. He says that advancements in the media such as television, computers, and mobile phones are paired with changes in patterns of migration, such as the faster movement of people around the globe. Rather than yet another globalized industry, it is indeed a partial source of globalization. The media is largely a cultural product, and it is possible that the transition of such a commodity will impact the culture of the recipient. Technology has also gradually been propelling globalization. Technology facilitates rapid connectivity, quick and organized transport, and successful mass marketing, all of which have made it easier to take control of globalization, particularly globalized media. One area to look into understanding the relationship of globalization and media are its etymologies and history. Globalization. If defining globalization was a daunting task, what more its history? With its cloudy past, debates by scholars have all been waiting to be said true and legitimate information of how globalization began. But even if we are having a hard time tracing its roots, what we are sure of is that because of the formal establishment of the usage of the word, globalization has taken its place alongside with our ancestors even in the time when the first Homo sapiens departed from other Homo sapiens in an African village and set out in search for food or water or adventures. Those first travelers of the world put globalization into motion. Yale's Nyan Shanda embraces this view, and he termed this as hardwired. Although there have been a lot of debates about what really was the history of the globalization, like looking into cycles, epochs, events, and more recent and broader changes that has been taking place in this world. In the Queen's English, the word gets softened to globalization, but it is still chilly and distant. The French offer us la mondialisation. The Chinese say chunkiwa. In Kiswahili, it's utandawazi. No language, it seems, is comfortable with the word. in Merriam-Webster's dictionary dates globalized to 1944. And did you know that the globalization was first used by Theodore Levitt, a former professor at the Harvard Business School, and is widely credited by popularizing the term, which he used in a 1983 Harvard Business Review article, The Globalization of Markets. Globalization resides in a specialized linguistic family, ization words, nouns formed by a combination of is, verbs, and ation. Ization, an etymology dictionary says, is a suffix that creates nouns indicating the process or outcome of doing something. Ization words are inconclusive. They can be process or outcome. The focus on ization is not idiosyncratic, and so, in order to fully understand the phenomenon of globalization, one must consider the crucial ambiguity of globalization as an ization. Peter J. Taylor says, there is an obvious first lesson to draw from this language trap. It is necessary to separate out the two meanings of the izations in any critical analysis. That's it for the etymology and history of globalization. For the etymology and history of media, it will be for another video that will be discussed by my groupmate. Thank you guys for listening.